So let's create those baguettes now. Baguette, kind of referring to that French long, thin bread. The idea is that these baguettes, when spaced, they can block sunlight to create, to reduce the amount of sunlight coming into the window. They create a decorative element and some visual interest of facades. So we're going to create that in the panel itself. So I'll just flip over to that. And actually, we're at a good view right now. We're just looking at it from a side view. And we're going to put those baguettes on the exterior of the building. So let's first of all create a reference line, or a reference plane, should I say. And I'm going to come over here. Let me just slide down. I'm going to come out 2 feet and draw a reference plane that we can tie our baguettes to. And the baguette is going to be made by making an extrusion. So I'm going to come up here and go to Create and Extrusion. And I'll make it, oops, I want to grab the rectangle tool and cut that corner. And then I'll make it, let's say, 2 inches deep and 4 inches wide, or, well, as you can see in the ratio I have there. And then I'll go ahead and lock off our 2 constraints so that it stays aligned to that. And this is going to extrude it 1 foot thick. So if I was to go to the front view of this, and sometimes we get so many views open, it's hard to tell what we've got here. I'm going to go, now I'm on the front view of this, and I'm going to pull this over and lock it to the reference plane on the one side, and pull this arrow back and lock it to the other reference plane. And then we can actually experiment with whether that will behave parametrically, and it does. And I'll leave that a little smaller like that. Let's give this a color, just so we're going to make duplicates of it, so I don't want to go back and have to do all of them. So we'll go to Material by Category, and I'll just select that palette, and we'll make a new material. And I'll rename it. Call it Color 1. And I'm going to make it whitish, but you don't have to. I'm thinking this could be made out of a ceramic material with a glazing on it, or aluminum, or it could be wood if you wanted to. So we've applied that. I'm going to click OK. And we'll go back to our left side again. We'll make a few copies of this. So I'm going to grab it, and I'll copy it down. And let's go down, let's say 8 inches. And then I'm going to just grab it, and I'm going to grab this, click on this dimension. Oops, click on the dimension part. Hold on. Excuse me, I got a screen issue. I'm going to grab on this dimension now and click on this, and I'm having problems. Still having a little bit of a problem here. Let me just, so I clicked on the dimension, and that now makes that a rigid dimension for that. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it again. We'll make probably maybe 5 of these. I'll just do a bunch of them. We're coming down 8 inches. And then I'm going to go back in and grab these dimensions. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to grab that little dimension and make it a rigid dimension. I'll pull this off so it's clear. Grab this one. And actually, I probably should be locking these. Grab the last one, turn it into a solid fixed dimension, and lock it. And now let's look at this from the front view again. Go to exterior, and I'm going to flex it parametrically. And you notice these other ones don't move. So what I've got to do is lock these off in this direction. So I'll pull this over to the reference line and lock it. Pull this off to the reference line and lock it. And I'm just going to keep repeating this down until I have all of these aligned to that side reference plane. And then to test that, we'll want to move that back in again, and those are all behaving parametrically. So now we're ready to load that into the project. Back into our main our main project. We could actually close off the channel too, and that'll keep us from having too many drawings open. So I'm going to overwrite the existing version, and we'll go to, I don't know, is it this view? Let's go to, I created a 3D view, there it is. And the wall system is actually drawn backwards, so I'll just select it and hit the space bar to flip it over. And there we have a series now of baguettes sticking out over the front of our window systems. So next we'll look at adding some glass in, and then a bottom panel.